Topping today's news, the Prime Minister Davis, he challenges Commonwealth nations to work together for a better future. Police need your help in finding 9 men wanted for questioning in regards to murder. Statistics show that the Bahamas population growth is slowing down. And we get the latest from the Minister of Works on potholes and flooding on East Bay Street. I'm Jcn Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. It's a pleasure to have you join us. Today, leaders of 56 Commonwealth nations are meeting in Samoa, where Prime Minister Philip Davis addressed the body and first reminded the members of the 1985 CHOGM meeting held here in the Bahamas when ending apartheid in South Africa was the main focus. However, he said today the common challenge is climate change, which is washing away shorelines, scorching lands, and reshaping lives. He also said to members that the economic disparities widen, leaving many Commonwealth nations struggling to access the basic tools for development. He said barriers to trade, finance, and innovation hold back the potential of millions. Prime Minister Davis asked the body if Commonwealth countries have the courage to forge a better future for their citizens. He told the leaders that this year's forum is a call to action and that Commonwealth nations must unlock access to finance, break down the walls that limit trade, and push forward with innovation that fuels sustainability and resilience. Together, the Commonwealth has 2.5 billion people. That's 1/3 of the world's population. The Bahamas National Statistical Institute says the official 2022 Census of Population and Housing, released on Tuesday, showed the total population of the Bahamas to be 398,165 people as of 2022, reflecting an increase of 46,000 people in the past 12 years as the annual growth rate continues to decline. The Institute Assistant Director, Kim Saunders, shared the following stats in relation to the nation's population growth rate.
By 1990, the growth rate had declined to 2%. In 2010, the growth rate was recorded at 1.6%. By the 2022 census, this census recorded the lowest growth rate in the past 52 years, 1.2%.
As for sex distribution, there are 191,667 males and 206,498 females in the Bahamas. The consensus also revealed that 75% of the nation's population lives on New Providence. Saunders shared statistics on those islands that saw an increase in population and those islands that saw a decrease in population.
Despite being one of the smaller islands per square mile, Berry Island's percentage increase, which was 24.2%, outpaced New Providence's by 3.7 percentage points. Andros, the largest island per square mile, recorded the lowest increase, 2.7%. Mayaguana recorded the largest decrease, which was 26.7%, followed by Ragged Island, which decreased by 22.2%.
The census included all individuals who on April 4th, 2022 Census Day were residents of the Bahamas regardless of their legal status. It also included students studying abroad and Bahamians serving in diplomatic corps living abroad. Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez says so far this year, of the 97 murders committed, police detectives have solved close to 60% of those homicides on record. As police detectives continue to work, they need your help in locating 9 men wanted for questioning in connection to murder. They are as follows: 32-year-old Kevin Ramsey of Knowles Drive, 26-year-old Andrew Davis of Bozine Town, 31-year-old Kevin Kalitz of Bozine Town, 22-year-old Malik Sawyer of McKinney Crescent, 28-year-old Trayvon Lockhart of Melvern Road, that's Yellow Welder, 33-year-old D'Angelo Wright of Marathon Road, 30-year-old Christevio Tucker of Walnut Street, Pinewood Gardens, 30-year-old Jcn Sela of Hamilton Street and 23-year-old Collins Florissant of Ridgeland Park. The public is reminded that harboring a wanted person or helping them evade the police is a criminal offense that can land you in prison. If you know the whereabouts of any of these men, police want you to call CID at 502-9991 or 2, or you can call 911 or 919, or you can remain anonymous and call Crime Stoppers in Miami at 328-TIPS. That's 328-8477. So far in 2024, a number of police officers have found themselves before the courts charged with serious crimes like attempted murder, robbery, and sexual assault. This week, 4 officers were fired from the Royal Bahamas Police Force after being charged with raping an 18-year-old woman while on a party bus and at a residence in southwestern or in the southern parts of New Providence. Earlier in the year, Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez said officers who find themselves on the wrong side of the law will have to pay the price. Here's what the commissioner said in June of this year.
And I must say that we continue to say that we will do whatever we can, and we don't stand by and watch our own commit crime. We arrest them, investigate, and put them before the court where they belong. And we will go after individuals who continue to molest with our young people. We will take no cost in trying to protect our young people.
At that time, Commissioner Fernandez said it was a concerning trend to see officers finding themselves on the wrong side of the law for similar offenses. However, he said the Royal Bahamas Police Force will maintain its zero-tolerance approach to officers who break the law and abuse their power. And finally, in this segment, from Samoa, where he is attending the Caribbean Heads of Government meeting along with Prime Minister Philip Davis, PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell is defending the actions of the Christie administration following comments by Sarkis Ismailian, the original Bahama developer, who suggested there was a level of government corruption involved in his losing the development to the China Construction America Company. Ismailian's comments came following the verdict of a New York judge who awarded his BML Properties Limited $1.6 billion in damages. Mr. Mitchell dismissed suggestions that government officials wrongfully influenced the outcome of the mega property dispute and called out Ismailian for his own failures.
You have the failed developer of Bahama in its statement claiming that there was collusion between China Construction Company and corrupt Bahamian officials. There's no such evidence of corrupt Bahamian officials, and the developer should be sued for libel for mixing up the leader of this country in this attempt to distract the country from the failures of the development under his leadership. PLPs and people of goodwill should know that the judgment is irrelevant to the success of Bahama today, which now has hired almost 5,000 Bahamians and is packed full of tourists. The failed developer that defaulted on the first mortgage to Scotia Bank, then was rescued by the government, then defaulted again, lost the property when they tried to declare bankruptcy in the U.S., but the courts declined jurisdiction in the U.S. and said it belongs in the courts of the Bahamas. The property was sold by a valid legal process in the Bahamas on an open market to an owner that pays its bills. And if the Bahamas is so bad, why is the failed developer still here?
In light of the court ruling, opposition leader Michael Pintard has called for the Davis administration to fight the urge to protect fellow PLPs and begin an immediate investigation to determine if the government officials may have been illegally influenced in their decision and recommendations regarding that Bahama matter. In response to Mr. Pintard, Mr. Mitchell lambasted the opposition leader.
I have to ask all PLPs and Bahamians of goodwill a pertinent and probing question, which is, what in the name of heaven is wrong with the leader of the opposition? And further, is there ever an occasion when he will leap to the defense of Bahamians, the Bahamas, and even his own constituents? This is most disturbing about his press statement in answer to this judgment. He actually believes what it says and attacks the PLP instead of thinking rationally, jumps to conclusions. This is just like the situation with the power cost issue in Grand Bahama. Instead of supporting his constituents and Bahamians, he went leaping to the defense of the Grand Bahama Port Authority and had to be dragged kicking and screaming to the table by Kwesi Thompson and Iram Lewis, his fellow MPs. What a shame. The leader of the opposition is ready to believe a judge in New York, but has little to say about two courts in Nassau that condemned two F&M ministers with whom he served, Dwayne Sands and Marvin Daines, for interfering in court cases in the Bahamas. What a shame.
Following the ruling, China Construction America said the court's decision is deeply flawed and announced that they intend to appeal that court's decision. You're listening to JCN News. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.